Hey guys, it's the Chad. And a while back I was looking for a good set of used doors and a bed from a 68 to 72. So I did the right thing and just shot over to a little face base and started searching. Well, it took me a little while, but I found them. The only problem with that was the doors and the bed, they were connected to an entire truck. And I didn't need another truck. But I thought about it a little while and went, dang, it's probably just easier to winch the whole truck up onto the trailer than trying to find four buddies, drive an hour down, load it up, drive an hour back and offload it. So this is how we welcome home this 1969 Chevy C10 that we call Donna the Donor. So a few months back I made a video about 67 to 72 donor trucks. And buying a good used donor truck, they can save you hundreds if not thousands of dollars on your build. And that's why I bought Donna. The problem with her is she took a huge front left hit here where it completely bent the frame and she'll never see the road again. Now I'm not a guy that's going to send one of these trucks to the junkyard or to the scrapper before I get all the usable parts off of it. One of the main reasons why I started this channel was to encourage fathers and kiddos and grandpas and grandkids to keep turning wrenches on these old cars and trucks. Now to do that, most of them are going to have to buy used parts because new stuff's pretty expensive. So I'm trying to play my part by keeping as many of these old parts in circulation as I can. So about a month ago, the city contacted me that one of my neighbors didn't like all my truck parts and old Donna's sitting here in the drive next to the garage. Give me a break. That's kind of why I moved out here in the country, but obviously it's not country enough. Generally, if you get an official complaint from the city, you have 30 days to comply or you could be cited. So I'm going to do the right thing and completely blow this C10 apart right here in the driveway before my 30 days are up. That way we can keep more used parts out there and I can ruffle a few feathers. How do you like me now? So parting out one of these trucks seems like a lot of work because it is. But what a lot of guys fail to realize is how much money you can get out of one of these parts trucks if you do your homework and put the hours in. There are so many small parts worth $10, $20, $50 all over one of these trucks. And then you have the big ticket items such as the bed, the grills, the seats, the air conditioning parts. All these things add up in a hurry. Now if you're like me and you don't have a big budget for your build, parting out one or two of these trucks may be a great way to go through and build up a nest egg, and you're learning how these trucks were put together. So there's several ways to part out one of these old trucks, and a lot of it depends on how much room you have to store the parts until you get them sold. Now here at the house, I'm pretty limited on space, so about as fast as I take these parts off, I'm going to be listing them for sale, and hopefully they're going out the door the time I'm taking more stuff off. Now if you're lucky enough to have a garage or a shop, you could really just park the whole truck out and scatter it all over the floor and list it all at once. The benefit there is you might have somebody coming out to pick up a hood and a fender and they'll be like, ooh, I want that and that and that and that and that. So you can clear out a lot of parts all at one time. Before you take any parts off the truck, the first thing you should do is go buy a couple boxes of Ziploc bags like the gallon size, that and some Post-it notes. That way when you're going through and taking some of these small parts off, you can get the Post-it notes, label what it is or where it came from, stick it in the bag with all the nuts and bolts. Trying to be organized up front is going to save you a lot of trouble in the rear, in the end. So how in the heck are you guys supposed to know what these used parts are worth? Well, you got to do a little research. You can always check out Marketplace, Craigslist, or even think about joining a local Facebook C10 group in your area. If you can't find any answers there, why don't you check out LMC Truck, Classic Parts, or Brothers and see what this stuff's selling for new. Then you have to determine what's a fair used price. So where do you even begin? I say wherever you want. Myself, I'm going to go through and try to get rid of some of the bigger items first. That way I have more room to work on the rest of the truck. If you are going to be like me where you're posting items for sale about as fast as you take them off, it's not a bad idea to do a lot of research on what you're going to want for other parts of the truck. Just in case somebody comes over to buy the hood and they're like, ooh, what do you want for the grill and the bumpers? And you're like, I'm not sure. If you're not doing your homework, you can really screw yourself. So I've given myself 30 days to part out this truck here in the driveway. But if you're fortunate enough to have a shop or a garage that has a lift, call up some buddies, feed them full of pizza and beer, and get after it. You truly can part out an entire truck in a day if you work hard. Well, actually probably save the beer until you're all done, or it's probably going to take more than a day. So why don't we get started? Tell you why, because this is going to suck. So quick status update. Day number 1, I rocked it. Got all the bed bolts out, front bumper off, and started loosening up a lot of things ready for disassembly. I think I've got 3 hours in it yesterday. Today I'm about an hour deep and not doing so well. I am really fighting this front left where it got totaled. I just can't seem to get my hands to bolts where I need to get my hands to bolts. Now I am going to try to keep the peace a little bit with my neighbors because this truck's going to look worse than it already does once I get this front clip and doors and everything else off. So I went online to Amazon and ordered me one of these universal truck covers. This one's made by Leader Accessories. It had pretty good reviews. I mean, like 12,000 reviews, and most of them were good. So I'm gonna give it a whirl, throw this on at nighttime. Hopefully this hides it a little bit and the city stays off my back just a little bit longer. But if they don't, oh well, I got 28 more days before they can find me. So if you guys are interested in one of these, I'll put a link down in the description below, but we need to get back to work. Well, that's going to be it for day number 2 because I'm exhausted. Got about 3 solid hours in. Got the entire front clip off and a whole bunch of other stuff loosened up for tomorrow. That radiator support and fender, it just fought me the entire way. If you wondered why we're parting Dawn out, if you look here, yeah, that frame should not be doing that and be bowed. And over here on the driver's side, yeah, that definitely shouldn't be making that right-hand turn. There was just no saving her. So let's get a little shut-eye and start again tomorrow. Well, that's going to do it for part 1 of blowing old Donna to pieces. We're able to go through and get all the front end parts off, take the windshield out, and get all the AC components out as well. I also went through and loosened up a bunch of stuff for the next video. We've got about 4 partial days into it, which equaled just shy of 10 hours. It's probably more like 8, but I had my helpers with me and they kept hiding my wrenches and my 1/2 and 9/16 inch socket, so that really slowed things down. Well, make sure you stick around for part 2. We're going to go through and clear the cab out, get the bed off, and then start blowing the suspension to pieces. If you guys are enjoying these videos, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe. I appreciate your time and thanks for watching.